Oh, hi everybody.
Guess what we're looking at?
We're looking at the Royal Babies chart.
The royal baby that was born at 5:26 this morning.
This very morning. I'm Monty Farber,
I'm Amy Zerner.
and we are the authors of Signs and Seasons. And we'd like to thank HarperCollins and Lisa Sharkey and Book Studio 16.
For sharing our stuff today.
Yes, and they're the publisher of this. We're authors of a lot of astrology books. We have Astrology for Wellness, which is our most recent book.
Sterling Publisher.
That's correct. And also from Sterling, hey Zane, our cat is walking through, of course, is Karma Cards, which has been in continuous print since 1988 and is the best way to learn astrology in case you feel like it.
So when we look at a chart, we look at the rising sign and the moon sign and where all the planets fell at the moment you were born.
Right. So and actually, this is how astrology started. Astrology used to be where you would only do the chart of a royal baby, and when astrology became the first thing for democracy, when the first charts were done of non-royal people. And so the way a chart looks like a pizza with 12 slices, and the planets are the toppings, and the 12 signs are the 12 different kinds of cheeses. And before I send everybody to the refrigerator, we can get right into talking about the royal baby's chart. And we have things about children in our book, Sun Sign Secrets.
I'm going to tell you some of our things about parenting because I know what Harry's sign is, what Meghan's sign is.
Tell them, Amy.
So Harry's a Virgo.
That's correct.
So what do we say about Virgos as a parent? Encourages children to ask questions, supports practical activities during free time. He's very athletic. So
yes, he is.
He's going to bring that to this royal baby. But the royal baby is a double Taurus. He might not want to move as much as Harry.
Right, and traditionally, if you're born, well, it's not traditionally, if you're born at sunrise, you're what's known as a double, whatever your sun sign is. This baby is a Taurus, and he's born at sunrise, so the sun is on the horizon. The planet or the sign that's on the horizon determines the rising sign. And so he's a double Taurus, and they're known as being stubborn, but they're not stubborn. They're here to prove to themselves and to us that they're strong, that they're persevering, that they can't be stopped. So that is a very big issue with all you Tauruses out there. And if your moon is in Taurus, there's 10 planets, so there's a lot of room for Taurus to be in your chart. I have a Taurus midheaven.
I have Venus in Taurus.
Amy has Venus in Taurus, and that's why she's such a great artist, and no one can stop her.
Thank you.
She's unstoppable.
So Virgo as a parent gets upset by children's dirt or untidiness.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well, you never. Well, there is issues with the father in this chart, but it's going to lead to him being a very powerful person and a great leader. Those of you who know astrology will see that Pluto and Saturn are up there in the 10th house, the 10th slice of the pizza pie here of the royal baby's chart. That's right here. And Pluto and Saturn have just gone retrograde, so he has that combination there, and that's all about transformation of structure. So this child is going to be very interested in transforming the structure of finances and corporations, and he's going to be quite the leader in whatever he chooses, since he's number 7, and I think in line to the throne. So that's not going to be an issue. But in his chart, he's not going to be like one of those stories where, oh my God, I wish I was king and this and that. He's not going to be like that, I think, as an astrologer. I think he's going to use whatever frustration that might cause, and I would imagine it could cause some, to inform his transformation, because he's going to be very committed to transformation because he has Jupiter and Sag in the 8th house. Those of you who know astrology know the 8th house is the Scorpio house. It's the house of...
But it's a singleton planet.
Yes. According to Mark Edmund Jones, a great astrologer, if you have one planet on one half of your chart and everything else is here, it all goes to the one planet, the singleton. So
it's a philosophical.
Jupiter and Sag, Jupiter rules
and
Sag.
metaphysical.
He'll be metaphysical. He'll be very sexy. I mean, if I didn't know he was a prince, I'd say he's going to be a rock star, because
That's the first thing you said when you looked at his
When
chart.
I looked at his chart, I said, this is the chart of a rock star.
Well, his mother's in show business.
This is true.
So she's a Leo. So Leo as a parent is encouraging and approachable, allows children to make messes, unlike his dad, right?
Well, there's a conflict right there between the parents.
Encourages children to play sports, is liberal with discipline. We know she's very liberal, and expresses affection. Leos love to express affection.
I'm a Leo rising. So he has moon in Gemini in the 1st house. You can The thing about astrology is the symbols, you can actually tell a lot just from the symbols. The moon is like a reflective lens, and it's in the number 2, that Roman numeral represents Gemini. And when you have moon and Gemini in the first house, you talk a lot, and you talk a lot about yourself, because the first house is all about yourself.
Also, the moon in his first house makes him very approachable.
Yes,
So I
actually,
think he'll be for the people and with the people.
yeah, I think he's going to be a very popular person. Anyone with the moon in the first house can be a good salesman because they sort of reflect back to the person they're trying to sell what that person is. So there's a familiarity, a comfort level.
So Sun Sign Secrets, we have a section for each sign about them as a child. The Taurus child responds to comfort and affection. It's generally good-natured, may be prone to sore throats, usually works slowly but steadily at school, may be selfish with toys. Well, they're very possessive, right?
Right.
Is likely to have many friends and is usually cuddly, calm, and affectionate. Aww.
A cutie. But this child needs alone time. Anytime you see a lot of toppings in this 12th house, as you can see over here, that means you need to be alone sometimes, which I would imagine would be difficult for someone who's in the public eye that much. And this baby also has the planet Uranus, however you want to call it, rising. And so when you have a planet rising like that above the horizon very close at the moment you're born, you sort of come into this world to represent that. And Uranus is the Aquarian age signifying planet. So he could be someone who really brings disruptive change in a good way to all kinds of institutions.
Do you think he's going to talk early?
I think I would be surprised if he did not talk early.
Also, don't you say Uranus on your ascendant makes you make funny sounds?
Yes, he will. I'm not saying he's good. Neptune on your ascendant makes you a good mimic, and Uranus on the ascendant means every once in a while you just come out with a lot of wild and crazy sounds. So it's not going to be.
We've seen this.
Yeah, it's not going to be a quiet time in their house. But the rising sign is a fascinating concept that is not explored. Amy and I happen to have a proposal. Are you listening, all you publishers?
Oh, right. Rock Your Rising.
We have Rock Your Rising sign. So this is from Wisers. We have all the different great publishers
It's sort
here.
of the first thing you should learn in astrology because that's how other people see you.
Yes, and the rising sign is the least discussed and most important thing, especially for parents, because when your baby is born, they have this rising sign. That's how they appear. And they could be appearing really calm, but on the inside, they might not be calm. They may appear like, you can just leave them alone, they'll be fine, when that's not necessarily the case. So from a child's standpoint, the rising sign is super important. And from your own standpoint for adults, how you appear to other people with your rising sign, you have no control over it. It's the way you're going to appear to people that way when you're trying to appear to people a different way. Like
also, it's the way you dress. It's the colors you choose.
Right.
I mean, as a designer, I think about that a lot.
Right. So Amy's a Scorpio rising, so she comes off as mystical and mysterious and sexy and and I'm a Leo rising. So I come off as more showy and flamboyant, and I'm not afraid to wear colors or funny hats or whatever. And I'm an Aquarius, so I look out on the world as an Aquarius, but the world sees me as a Leo, which is exactly
opposite. By the way, you
opposite.
can ask us in the comments any astrology questions, and we're going to be doing readings for you.
Yeah. So have we talked enough about the Royal Babies chart?
I think, since
He's going to be into money, by the way. Mars in the second.
Taurus
opposite
loves
Jupiter.
food.
Taurus
guess
does
what?
love food.
I made a Taurus quiche from our cookbook, Signs and Seasons.
Yes.
It's a Taurus dish because it's very earthy and hearty. That's what Taurus likes, and creamy and rich.
Can we just stop the thing and just eat it all?
It smells good. And thanks, Lindsay, for helping me. We made a whole big batch.
Yeah. That's good because I need more than
It's got
one.
a secret ingredient, potato chips.
Yes. That's a
Anyhow,
real...
I'm going to post the recipe and the link after we do this, and you can make it yourself.
Signs and Seasons is really cool. I took all the photographs. There's like 96 different photographs. And it's a really good cookbook. We did it with Chef John Okus, who's a good friend of ours, who's a really good astrologer as well. Amy and he worked on this very intensely before we even got to the...
Very proud of this cookbook.
For 2 years.
And it led us to do astrology for wellness. because we love breaking down the 12 signs, and even if you just talk about sun signs, it gets so specific as to, you know, things we like and
Right.
don't like. Like the royal baby's going to like to eat, I think.
Oh yeah, and going to be a good singer. With double Taurus are
That's
usually
right.
good singers, and at the very least will love music. So they should always be playing music for this lucky child.
So Mother's Day is coming up.
Yes,
Speaking of mothering and parenting,
and our books make great gifts for mother.
especially a cookbook, right?
Yeah, this is. I mean, yes, there's stuff about here in astrology, but it's not like you need to know astrology to use this. This is like a really, really good cookbook. We have a lot of friends who are chefs, and we've shared this book with them, and they love it, and they make stuff from it. And a couple of them have actually told me they learned things from it, because John is quite the chef. Amy is quite the chef.
That's a compliment, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of whipped up some Mother's Day gift ideas.
Okay, great.
So for Aries, a game.
Give mom a game.
And we invent games.
We invent
and
games.
I'm an Aries.
Karma
so
cards is a game, or else take her to one of those escape
Aries
rooms.
are kind of competitive, so they like to win.
Right. Is that true?
Taurus, a pillow.
Yeah, because they like comfort and luxury.
That's right, and like to take a little rest.
Okay, for Gemini, a book.
A book. Gemini rules books and writing and reading. Every Gemini I know can't get enough books.
Right, they usually read more than one at the same time, and Geminis hate to be bored. So do something that'll keep mom from being bored if she's a Gemini.
And for Cancer, cuddly pajamas.
Aww.
And if you or a blanket, right?
Yeah, because they like the past, they like the home, they like to nurture. Maybe you can nurture mom for a change.
Yeah, something comforting. Leo's like gold
Yeah, you won't lose if you give a Leo mom gold.
or a shopping spree.
Yeah.
Designer clothes.
And all you Leo moms can send your thanks to the Enchanted World, P.O. Box 2299.
Virgo, crafts. Handmade something.
Yes, exactly. Make something and do something that keeps them from worrying, because they have a tendency to worry
How
sometimes.
about an herb garden?
Wow, that's nice.
Storage bins. They like to be
They
organized.
like to be organized.
Or like a beautiful soap. They like to be cleaned.
Virgos do like to be clean.
Okay, Libra, flowers.
Anything that beautifies your Libra mom's life is a good thing.
They like expensive things.
Yes, Amy has her moon in Libra.
Or a music concert.
So she makes expensive things and she gets expensive
How about a
things.
gourmet cooking class?
That's nice. Yeah.
Scorpio, chocolate. We're always saying chocolate for Scorpio.
I don't know.
There's so many cool kinds of chocolate.
Well, you
now.
can't give your mom, like some of the other kind of sexy Scorpio things.
They like cashmere.
Yeah. Something that's sensual.
Money.
Yeah.
Let's
That
just
works
cut
for
to the
everybody,
chase.
I
Let's go.
think.
Gift certificate. Oh, detective DVD series.
Right. Or hire a private eye for mom and let him investigate something.
Okay, for Sag, I picked luggage.
Oh, because they like to travel. Or philosophy books.
Workout clothes.
Okay.
Spiritual books. They love spiritual stuff. They love natural remedies.
How about a spa vacation for mom if you want to go
Mm-hmm.
crazy? Yeah, to a nice nature resort.
Capricorn, gemstones.
Yeah, no complaints there. Or something that helps them feel like an authority. Or
It's earth, but you know, gemstones are deep in the earth. How about antiques? They like that.
Uh-huh.
I put down a monogrammed gift.
For Capricorn, yeah, because they want to be respected.
That's right.
So it
A genealogy report. That would be good for Capricorn.
wow. Good idea, Amy.
Thank you.
And then Aquarius, gadgets. Yeah, I'm going to go buy me a new laptop any day now because I want to start doing my YouTube channel. That's Monty for Amy, MONTE, the number 4, Amy, AMY. Because we have a YouTube channel and we actually are starting to do live chats there. So I'll be able to answer your questions there as well as here. This is just for today, but we're going to be doing the YouTube chats a lot.
And he does it late at night.
I do, yeah, but I'll try and do it during the daytime too, and try and do it on weekends so people can do it.
So Aquarians like...
We like gizmos. We like the future.
How about theater tickets?
For an Aquarian,
Yeah.
it's got to be a multi-sensual
something
experience.
weird,
Yeah,
avant-garde.
right.
Okay, last Pisces, massage.
Yeah, and especially reflexology, foot massage. Reflexology is hands and foot massage. That is actually what got me into spirituality when I was 14 years old in high school, 15
You
years.
know, Pisces would like a psychic reading from you.
Yeah, well, anyone, any sign, that's a good gift.
Or a watercolor. You know, it's a water sign.
Right.
So those are our gift ideas. And are we getting any questions?
Yeah, I think we're misunderstanding. They're just telling us their signs. Do you want to just talk about rising signs?
I could talk about the different rising signs.
If they know they're rising.
Yeah, we have a few on here.
Okay, if you know your rising sign, and as I said, you can get your chart done for free at a million places, AstroDeist or
Yeah, 'cause
Astrolabe.
you're talking about astrology on Facebook all the time.
Yeah, and the people that follow me regularly, every time I write about astrology, I try and explain it so that by now you're starting to see a pattern. When you see Saturn, you know structure, discipline, the bones of things, you know, limits on what you can do. But anyway, if you're born with Aries, we'll go into traditional order.
Wait, are they asking specific questions?
So I have PJ, who's a
Sorry.
Gemini rising. So maybe we could talk.
Because
Okay.
yeah, Gemini risings are usually the youngest looking rising sign. Their arms are usually pretty long. I mean, this is just fun
Gemini
stuff.
rules their hands and arms. Also, they talk a lot.
If you're a Gemini rising, people see you as there's two people in there. Because anytime you see Gemini, two separate people.
The twins. The
Right.
good twin, the evil twin.
It could certainly be that. So if you're,
Actually, speaking of Mother's Day, my mother was a Gemini.
yes, and we love Geminis.
They're very light spirit and curious about everything, and they love to learn new things. They're curious about everything.
But it's good for anyone with your rising sign being different. If you're not a double like the royal baby, if you're not born at sunrise, it's a really good idea to read what is going
Yes.
on with that sign too, because people have a tendency to see you as your rising sign, not
Yes.
the way you're looking out on the world. That's why it's so powerful.
And for colors, Gemini likes all colors
Right. So if
to wear.
but don't they have like a yellow preference?
Yeah, they like yellow.
They like yellow. So if you're a Gemini rising, don't be surprised when people will say things to you like, but I thought you thought it this way.
They can't hold you to it.
Yeah, because as a Gemini rising, you have, or anyone with any Gemini prominent in their chart can hold two sides of an argument at the same time. And not everybody can do this. So that's Gemini rising. Okay.
So we have Frankie, who's an Aries rising.
Okay, Aries rising.
Now, I
That's
always say Aries rising has chipmunk cheeks.
Yeah.
And that's not insulting because
And-
I have chipmunk cheeks.
And so, yeah, because she's an Aries sun. And sometimes their hair will curl here like the
Like-
ram's horns, which is kind of
So
interesting.
chipmunk is also an animal for
Right.
that's our own research.
Right. We've done
Because they
extensive.
fight or flight.
Yeah.
Aries have fight or flight.
And you'll see chipmunks run along, and if something is impeding their accustomed path, they'll flip out and they'll make noises and stuff like that. But Aries rising means people see you as more aggressive than you might be trying to present yourself as. You'll say something and you just mean, you know, you're just answering their question or just saying something, and they'll be like that.
And you might have a reddish cast to your complexion.
So if you've ever thought, why do they think I'm being so aggressive? If you're an Aries rising, that's how you have chosen to come into this world to project yourself. The next sign is Taurus. We've been talking about the royal baby, who's a Taurus rising. And as I said, in an astrology chart, the horizon line is this horizontal line. This would be noon. Everything below this line is below the earth. And an astrology chart, which started in the Western Hemisphere, the Northern Hemisphere, excuse me, is as if you have your feet pointed south and you're watching the planets rise. So this is east and this is west. So the planets rise like that. And here's the sun, a double Taurus. And when
Which Taurus is ruled by Venus. So
Right.
he's going to love everything beautiful and luxurious. And it rules the neck, so he might have little turtleneck sweaters.
like the bull, you know?
Maybe pastel blue, I'm seeing.
And people who are Taurus rising, as I said before, they want to show you how strong they are, how powerful they can be, and how they can endure problems that other people would just say, you know, I'm out of here, forget it. So, but they endure. They are the copers. So when you're a Taurus rising, you don't want to be around when these nice, gentle people have been pushed too far. Think of a bull with a red flag, and you understand. And then we've done Gemini, which is the next sign.
Yes, so Cancer rising.
Cancer rising. And you seem more nurturing than you might actually be. And as I said, because think of the sign
You
Cancer.
pick up on other people. When you're sitting next to somebody, you pick up their feelings and their vibes.
Right, and you might, that people will think that you care.
And you like mauve colors or pale purpley colors.
Right. And so Cancer is the sign of the mother in Western astrology. And so then, and it's ruled by the moon. So now that brings us to Leo, which is
Leo
ruled by the
rising.
sun. Leo rising. If you're a Leo rising, we have a different kind of stage fright. We get scared when we're not on stage.
Very good posture, Leo rising. Like
yeah.
Cancer sometimes are
Yeah, because Cancer is sort of here, this part of the body. Leo is the lower back and the heart. So we have to watch that kind of.
colorful.
Right.
They like colors.
And when Leo risings walk in a room, they don't mind it if everybody turns around and looks at them. They're not shy.
They like that.
Yeah. Like, as I said, we get scared when we're not on stage.
Virgo rising.
Virgo risings are more, they're different than Leo risings. Now, Virgo rising is actually a hard kind of thing to nail down because I've met a lot of them and they're different. Usually every one of them is different. They are detail oriented.
Analytical.
Some of them can be incredibly funny because they can see.
Well, it's a Mercury thing, and it's fast, right?
They're super fast. They're skilled. Every
They're
Virgo
like
rising
gray.
has a skill because it's all eye-hand coordination.
Muted colors like sage or gray.
And a lot of times they might appear worried about stuff when they're not. Them and Pisces, which is the opposite sign, they're the signs that appear like, oh my God, they're so concerned about
Something's
something.
wrong.
Right, that there's something wrong. But there's usually
And
not.
so when you know that it's not a reflection on you.
It's right. So don't take it personally if someone's a Virgo rising, and they have come into this world to show that they can handle the details. You know, it's in the devil's in the details, or being detail oriented. That's what Virgo is. That brings us to Libra. Now Libra is the only sign in the zodiac that has a non-animate object as a symbol. It's the scales. So Libras are in the middle, always going, well, on the one hand and on the other
So
hand.
they can appear indecisive sometimes.
They can, but at the same time, they're driven to find out the balance. They're interested in balance, beauty, harmony, and all that kind of stuff.
Also ruled by Venus.
Yes, Taurus
And blue.
Right,
Different colors of blue.
different colors of
Scorpio rising, moi.
blue. They can be misunderstood because Scorpio risings are so passionate and so no second agenda. What you see is what they want you to see. That they can be misunderstood, and they can be looking at you and thinking, well, did I leave the water running? And you think, oh my God, they see through me into my deepest secrets.
And also generally like darker colors, black and maroon and dark purple.
Right. Yeah,
I know, I never wear this color.
yeah, who is this woman? So
But it has sparkles, so that works.
yeah, sparkles work. So after Scorpio comes Sagittarius. Sagittarius rising. Sagittarius,
Alert.
they are
Alert.
honest. Whereas Scorpio risings, they'll hold back unless it's the exact right time. Then they'll say it and zing you with it.
And also it's like, how could they just say that?
They can be blunt, and but if they feel like they're not telling you the truth, they feel like they're lying by not speaking
They
up
have to
and
be
saying
honest.
anything. Meanwhile, Scorpio, the sign previous,
Scorpio we don't say.
yeah, they're
We
like,
think.
yeah, they're the original children. You zip thy lip. But Sag risings,
Because in the old time astrology, they would call a sign mute, you know, if it was
you
not
mean,
as
not as verbal,
communicative, yeah.
right? Scorpio rising is mute. Sag is like pedal to the metal. I'm going to tell you what's going on. And because Sag rules things foreign and philosophy and taking the world to you through YouTube and broadcasting and books or bringing the world to you through the same thing. It's about things foreign.
They're good teachers.
They're great teachers. They're great philosophers, and they can sometimes appear wherever they go. People think they're from somewhere
That's
else.
right.
That's an
That's
interesting.
true.
In other words, they're in France, and there are some signs. I'm trying to remember the one. There's some. I think it might be Leo rising, where they think, or if you have the moon on the ascendant, they think you're one of them.
Which she does.
They'll start
Royal
talking to
baby.
you in
Royal baby has moon in the first house.
the first house. If you have the moon close to the ascendant, people think you're like them.
That's like-
so they
yeah.
start talking to you in the language of that, and you don't know what the heck they're
It
saying.
makes them approachable, right?
Right. So that's the Sag risings. And then comes Capricorn risings. They seem more taciturn, which has sort of the concept of
Or
Saturn.
older than they are. Like if it's a Capricorn rising child, they'll seem very responsible and mature before they're actually.
And that's the one I think of when I try and tell people how important it is to know your rising sign. Because if you have a child who's a Capricorn rising, they're going to seem like everything's together and everything is serious. And that kid, oh my God, we can load him up with responsibilities and leave the other kids with him or her, she'll be a great.
Right.
And meanwhile, they're a kid, and they might have other things in their chart where you shouldn't be leaving anybody with
They
this
could
chart.
have a serious expression,
Right.
but they're funny too.
Yeah, I have my Mercury in Capricorn. We have that
Right, the
wry
wry
humor. And
So,
so Capricorn
Aquarius
rising.
rising.
Oh, Aquarius rising's eccentric. They all, and they can seem unemotional and cold and robotic sometimes, but they're just like everybody else. They have
They
their
love
feelings.
that ultraviolet blue.
Yes, they
Like
do.
This color.
This color, a drinking song.
Okay, Pisces rising. Oh,
The rarest of the rising signs in my experience.
sometimes they have very Neptunian eyes, right?
Yeah, and they see everything and they feel everything. And Pisces rising people, or they seem like they're not focused on what you're talking about, but they are, but in a different way. They diffuse their focus as a way of broadening their focus. So those are the basics.
So when you contrast that with, you put the puzzle together as an astrologer, your sun sign can be very different than your rising sign.
Yes, and if they're opposite, what they see is what they don't get. With the royal baby being a double Taurus, what you see is what you get.
That's right.
So questions, or have we gone on
Yeah,
too
we have
long?
some other like just normal questions, I guess. Tara.
Okay.
Okay.
She says, this is Ursula. She says, hello from a Scorpio in Ireland. Which direction do I take going forward?
In Ireland?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Well, the High Priestess says, you know, this is the Enchanted Tarot.
Yes, and it's also the card that we always visualize when we do tarot readings. So I don't know if you have a metaphysical aspect to what you do as a living. That's
So the
what
next
you're asking
step.
about. So it would be to go with your intuition.
Yes, it says you know. That's the most knowing card.
Right, and it also might mean if you bring spirituality into what you do.
By the way, this comes out in July.
Yes.
The Enchanted Love Tarot.
Since we've moved into tarot, what we just showed you before was the Enchanted Tarot card, but Amy has done a completely new tarot deck,
That's right.
and it's going to come with this book,
It's
which I
Enchanted
wrote.
Tarot, Enchanted Love Tarot, all with my tapestries, and comes with a great book all about relationships.
This is what we do here at the Enchanted World. We're not totally out of our minds, because I know we've shown you a lot of books, but this is why we're here. We're
It's
here.
what we love.
We love to share what we know and what we've learned with you.
I'll pick the next one from that deck.
Okay.
Coming in July, did I say that?
Coming in July, the Enchanted Love Tarot comes in a really nice box.
And it's already available for pre-order through our website.
That's right.
It's
Because we're having
available.
a contest where they can win an hour reading with you.
Right, and for those
If
of
you
you who
pre-order
who-
from our
you
website,
can
not
pre-
from Amazon.
right, you can pre-order it from our website, which enters you in the contest to win a reading with me. Right.
A reading with you, some of my jewelry. We're going to have 3 prizes. Or a
Yeah.
print of one of my goddesses.
Hope this is not reflecting too much light because it comes in lovely shrink wrap. Yes, and it's very hard.
Okay, more questions.
Kelly is asking, when do you see me making a positive career change? So maybe 3 months, 6 months?
When is the hardest thing with the tarot?
Okay, you put a time on it. 6
Uh,
months.
I think it's sooner than 6 months. I think it's more like 3 months. I just got the Pisces moon and Pisces look in my face.
And I got the Prince of Gems, and that's planting seeds for a new business.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
think it's
definitely
sooner
yes.
than later. Well, if Amy got that Princess of Gems,
Oh, and I just got the King of Gems for sooner.
Yes.
So it's right in the works.
yeah, I get the feeling you're on the
good.
path and you're doing it. So we'll just keep going and focus when you have gems, which is for those of you who know tarot a different way. Since this pentacles, it's money, it's things of the earth, things you can touch.
And Shamina said, can I please have a card picked?
Sure.
Sure.
Here's a message for Shamina. Prince of Wings, the Challenger. So this says speak your mind.
And fight for what you believe.
That's right.
Yeah, because the Prince of Wings, which would be the Prince of Swords and other tarot decks, that's the only card in the tarot that can sometimes indicate an actual why I oughta, that kind of thing. It's definitely stand up for yourself.
That's right. He's forceful. So whatever, this is the book, has upright and reverse. You know what else we have in here? Yes and no's. You know how you
Yeah.
always want a yes or a no?
Or we have maybes. Sorry, they're not all
Well,
yeses or
sometimes it's
no.
maybe.
As we all know, sometimes life is maybe.
Okay, so we have Donna. She's wondering if now is the right time to publish her first novel.
Well, I get the stress card. So no.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
maybe it
also
has to
got.
do with-
I think you should wait. I think there's a better time. I think you should examine what's coming out when that's along the same lines as what you've written, and make sure it comes out when you're not competing with some gigantic book. Like we had a CD-ROM many years ago. It was amazing. It was the Enchanted Tarot as a CD-ROM. It came out just when they released Windows 98. And all the stores only had money to buy the Windows 98. They weren't interested in what we
I
had.
think it's an intense subject, maybe your novel, but I think it does need more work. I just wanted to say that you can use our Enchanted Tarot, and this is like an adjunct, the Enchanted Love Tarot, when you're going deeper into questions about love and relationships.
Farrell would like to know how to balance with her twin.
That's interesting.
Wow.
So you have a real twin. That's interesting right there.
How to balance with your twin.
Be
That's a funny-
patient.
You have to be patient with your twin.
Yeah, this is a temperance card in the Enchanted Tarot. And as you can see, the clock was placed incorrectly because we were not patient.
You can blame me.
I'm not blaming you.
I'm
I
in
think
Aries, that's always our lesson.
I think symbolically it's wonderful.
So I think your twin is competitive with you because I got the competition card. So you have to be patient with that aspect. Let us know if that's true.
One of the things we did with the Enchanted Love Tarot is we actually
Have keywords.
we printed the keyword right at the bottom there. Every one of the cards has a keyword.
So we want you to open it up and really start playing. So
Yeah.
you start to learn the keywords and then only pick one card,
It's
so it's
real-
not too overwhelming.
We try and make things simple because the worst thing for us is to think that you'd buy our stuff and have to put it in a drawer
All of
because
our
you could.
books are like that,
It's
where
true.
we kind of, take your hand through the whole subject.
Because we have studied this for a long time, and a lot of the books, especially in early days, were impenetrable and incredibly hard. So we're trying to make things incredibly easy. That's our goal.
And for a cookbook, we have lots of easy recipes.
Oh my God,
And it goes
yes.
through the seasons, and we're in Taurus time, which is such a great food time.
And you actually have pictures so you know what it's supposed to look like.
And some recipes are more complicated.
Yeah.
Depends on what you're in the mood for.
And it's
But
a
lots of vegetarian, lots of fish. We have meat also.
And it's arranged by seasons because, as anyone who cooks knows, you want seasonal ingredients, so you're dealing with fresh food.
I like to cook for you.
And I like to eat.
Sorry, I lost my place.
It's okay.
You go back.
I hope everybody's having fun here, and I just want to say that subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes, which is called Monty.
I don't mean this very second because we're all losing.
Monty number 4 Amy.
Monty with an E, the number 4 Amy. Not only do we have videos there about astrology and tarot and quantum affirmations, which is something else I'll talk about another time, but we're going to be doing live chats there, and we need as many subscribers as possible.
And when you subscribe and click on the bell next to where it says subscribe, you'll be notified when Monty goes live.
Right, because I anticipate doing a lot of live chats because it's too much fun not to do. It's so Aquarian. It's amazing.
It's a new tool
Yes,
for us.
for us.
It kicked me out of my spot, and now
Okay.
I lost
Oh,
my
it's not a problem at all. I
Let's
think
go back
we've done it.
Yes.
This is. We don't want to go on too long. We know you're all busy.
So anyhow, thank you.
Thank you, and once again, congratulations to the royal baby and the royal couple on the royal baby's chart.
And happy Mother's Day coming up to all your
Yes.
mothers.
And we hope that. Once again, thank you to Book Studio 16.
Great Mother's Day gift.
Great Mother's Day gift. A really good cookbook. And we'll see you again sometime soon. I'm Monty Farber, and that's Amy Zerner, and we're in the Enchanted World.